follow either. Oh, St. Paul is trending. Are there more riots? More riots in the Twin Cities? Yes, apparently. Yes. My goodness. Who loots a vitamin store?
I always find the targets to like. Can we just agree the targets don't make sense? They're targeting whatever's convenient. They're not trying to make a statement by taking out AutoZone.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Like, that's the way it is. But like,
I do see this.
Who is like, and you just know the employee of the vitamin shop, SHOPPE, the day before this was like, no one's gonna come here. now they're getting all their fucking B vitamins and fish oil stolen.
In Ferguson, I think it was Ferguson, they burnt down a wig and hairdresser shop, maybe, that sort of specialized for black women. Yeah. And everyone was like, why would you take out that store? That's like, your people? Does that sound racist? I don't know how to not to sound it, but that's your own community you're taking out. The owners were black women, and they took out the black wig. They took out the black wig hairdresser place. Like, why? And it's because they're not a thinking mob. They're just impulsive, wrecking stuff nearby, angry at the world mob. Not really. Yeah. It wasn't. I mean, personal.
I remember. I think I even told this on the show when the Ferguson thing was going down. A very good friend of mine, Carter. I know you listen to the show, Carter. Shout out. He was like, I'm working. He was texting me at the time. He's like, I work at Ferguson, and this whole thing is getting out of hand. He went to work the next day, and he was like, I came to work in my insurance agency, whatever the fuck it was, and I was expecting pretty much everybody to be there. I was the only one. I showed up to like a door that I had to call my boss and that I could unlock with the passcode or whatever. And you know what there is to eat in Ferguson near me? McDonald's. And you know what happened to that McDonald's? They burned it down. And so I have nothing to eat here. And he literally quit that job right after Ferguson and moved to Chicago because he was like, this sucks.
Well, at least you got away from those people.
Nonsense in Ferguson. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm out of here. I'm going to Atlanta.
I'm amused that St. Louis is like, really? Not here? We usually get something. You're like, are we just going to sit through this whole thing and not participate?
It's going to happen. It's going to. We're A+ Better Business Bureau rated for rioting. St. Louis will pop off at some point, and it'll probably be the East Side that does it first. We watched that clip of New Year's in East St. Louis where it was just firing high-powered rifles into the air with no concern. There's like cops driving by at some point, and even the cops know, like, this isn't our fight. Like, just to keep on fucking rolling.
I remember we watched that, and I learned about shooting guns into the air. I was wrong. I thought shooting a gun up straight was okay, and shooting a gun almost straight up was almost as good. It turns out that you have to really shoot straight up. Otherwise, it lands hard and fast.
If you shoot straight up, it doesn't land hard and fast?
Right. It's kind of like just dropping it off your root.
Because there's no difference between shooting a bullet straight up and dropping it from very high.
Oh.
Yeah. But
that makes a ton of sense.
So let's say 90 degrees is straight up. I thought 80 was pretty good. It is not. 80 is shooting someone who's far. That's what 80 is. It lands and zoom. And
these gentlemen were not being careful about the
yes, that's where I was headed. They're just randomly shooting towards the sky, and I promise you, they were actually shooting things far away, not dropping bullets.
I watched this. I was doing this is probably a couple weeks ago at this point, but Taylor Merca on Twitch, we were doing a just chatting, hanging out, watching stuff stream, and it was like deep. It was some guy named Guns and something else, and he like goes and experiments and not experiments, but he experiences other ways of life, like in Russia, rural areas. And he basically went into this shithole area that looked like a paintball course And everybody in the chat's like, oh, this is the grossest thing ever. This is awful. And I was like, oh, it's not nearly as bad as East St. Louis. And so I pulled up a video of that, and they're like, oh my God, this is in America? In our country? And it looks like this? Yeah, it's just awful. It's sad what's happened to so many cities that were booming 60, 70 years ago when you think about it.
Do they have...
Like Detroit, Paris of the West, they used to call it.
Really?
They truly
No.
literally look up Paris of the West and you will see it's Detroit.
When did they call it that?
I'm not going to do that. That's a
1867?
trap, Taylor. I'm not Googling fucking shit.
When did they call it the Paris of the West? What year was that?
It was the year.
There's no way to know, Kyle. There's no way to know.
I'm willing to wait. I think it begins with
I
the...
like that Taylor's our fact checker now.
If I had to guess, it would be like 1946 or something
go-
when they were booming with the automobile stuff.
I'm going to
But
go
anyway,
with covered
1872
wagons.
when they made a lot of horse glue.
Oh, but
How did I get start fact checking now?
I did.
Woody seamlessly passes that off.
The show needs it, but they're giving too much shit. So. But thank you. Anyway, yeah. Does St. Louis have a lot of just like empty grass lots where there were vacant houses? Do they knock it down and?
East St. Louis does. St. Louis proper, not as much. But yeah,
Okay.
East St. Louis on the Illinois side, lots of lots like that haven't been mowed in, as Kyle would say, a coon's age.
They
So
should-
very long grass.
Yeah, it apparently, if you have an empty house, that quickly becomes a drug den or a place where homeless people squat, or like it's a real a magnet for unattractive behavior. But if you have an empty lot, then that's preferable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got this house in East St. Louis. Better snatch this up, Taylor.
Zillow, $12,000. Too
Taylor,
bad.
Taylor, I'll go in halvesies with you.
Do you know what area this is?
The fact that it's a $12,000 home, Taylor, I can only imagine.
If you open up the link, you can see Martin Luther King Drive from the map. Not to
Dude.
mention you're right by fucking North 16th and Missouri Ave. Yeah,
Dude, this is an investment, Taylor.
Day one.
It comes with a satellite dish. I mean, pretty cool place.
You know what? That would be a pretty funny.
Already mounted.
Let's buy a house together in St. Louis and see, for $6,000 a pop and see what we can turn it into.
In,
Choose to
That's
handle the
what-
closing costs.
Hang out.
in Detroit, it's built in 1900. That has to be a mistake. In Detroit, they don't let you buy houses like this. Like a lot of people were just buying homes they had no intention of doing anything with, hoping that Detroit would turn around. And now you have to prove that you want to live there and turn it into a home.
Looking at these pictures, I can smell this house.
Absolutely rancid.
You know what this smells. It has a damp smell. You know it does.
It was
Dude.
like black mold.
Look at the payment. Look at the estimated payment. $73 a month.
This house,
Price per square foot.
this house is a notable upgrade from where my father was raised. He would
Wow.
it was about this size, and like it hit me when Kyle said he can smell it. This is yeah, I can smell it. I can smell the front yard. I can smell the grass. Like I know the neighborhood. I bet I can hear the bar across the street. And but his house didn't have a yard like this. It was all of them touching each other. They're like row
Dude, this one's
houses.
much better for
I will
12,000.
say, little benefits of East St. Louis. They have some of the
Mhm.
country's most renowned full nudity strip clubs.
Full nudity.
And
Do they serve alcohol?
Oh, they do. They serve alcohol.
That
They
is
let
the-
you get wasted. Yeah.
That's the lowest standard. Like there's titty bars and they tend to serve alcohol. There's full nudity bars, but they don't have alcohol. St. Louis has combined the two.
St. Louis. Well, because fucking weird. The two major cities in Missouri are in 3 states collectively, where it's St. Louis, Missouri, St. Louis, Illinois, and then Kansas City, Missouri, and then a little bit of Kansas City, Kansas. But you want pot now? Drive over the bridge, go to Illinois. You want drive-through liquor, guns, and ammunition? Drive on over to the Missouri side. We got you covered. And so a nice, this is what multiculturalism means to be. drive through. Or no, it's not. It's drive through liquor, guns, and fireworks is what it is.
Missouri has
That's
all
a
these
good
things?
combination.
Yeah.
Is it like a barn that you literally drive through the middle of the store, or is it like a drive-through window like a fast food restaurant?
Drive through window. You like go on the side that looks like a barn, and then you say, I want, 2 boxes of 22, a handle of Papa vodka, and a bunch of M80s. And they're like, M80s are illegal, right? And it's like, give me the M80s. Here's your sparklers.
Yeah. In Kentucky, they have the drive-through liquor stores.
North Carolina has
drive
that.
right through the middle of that motherfucker.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
That stuff.
But they hand you the alcohol, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can get out, but you don't need to.
Woody, what are you doing? You got to start drinking with all those rules around you. Take advantage. Yeah, you're right, Kyle. This second one is much, much better, but it's still awful.
It's still awful. It's a $12,000 home.
How many months do you think you and I could pay $36.50 each before we're killed if we were to live here?
You're seriously talking about financing this motherfucker?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we wouldn't need to do that.
I'm not getting a mortgage on a $12,000 house.
We finance a $12,000.
I wouldn't make
funny.
and it's 6. It's 6.
Finance a $12,000.
I have $6,000, not to brag.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I also have. I'm well over $6,000 liquid, so I can.
All right. Well, I mean, I need to move a few things around.
I mean, if I get an extension on my taxes. And yeah, man, this house is ugly as shit, dude. Looks awful.
Yeah, it is. Now, if there was a $12,000 house like that in Colorado, then you'd chip in.
You'd have to tear this up and just destroy it.
You would. Yeah.
Look at how much mold there is on these walls. Oh. It's visible.
La-di-da.
Yeah. I think that's moss.
It might be moss. Oh, look at the outside. Oh, God, that looks awful. Someone chopped a tree down and just left it.
Is it in St. Louis? They might have just fallen down on the fence and he hasn't gotten to it. And you're being kind of judgy.
A little deep cut there.
So I'm looking at like Colorado. I searched the entire state of Colorado and I made my maximum price $12,000. It's just plots of land, but several acres. You can get 5 acres in Blanco, Colorado, $4,000.
For 8,000 or 4,000?
4 big ones.
Oh, I'm out.
5 acres.
I can't handle 4 big ones.
I mean, we could all chip in here, have ourselves a piece of land out in the Sunshine State.
Florida?
No, Colorado. It's a Dumb and Dumber joke. It's
I'm like
Lloyd, Jim Carrey's character, is picking up Jamie Presley or whatever her name is, and he's like, "Where are you heading?" She's like, "Colorado," or he's like, the Sunshine State," and she's just like, I love that movie. But yeah,
I don't know if we want to go here. I was looking up the violent crime rate again. East St. Louis is blowing Guatemala and Nicaragua out of the water here. You got to go to Caracas, Venezuela before you get anything even close. Property crime? Oh my God. We're going to lose our cars night 1.
I didn't even think of the cars. Yeah, definitely the cars. I was thinking of like the home. Like nobody's going to fuck with that place. I mean, clearly they already have. They're not coming back.
You can't steal property, Taylor. It goes all the way to the middle of the earth. You goof.
You can't steal property.
You can't steal property. It doesn't belong to anyone.
Okay, Reggie.
Yeah, that's what you think, bitch. We showed you. It does belong to us now.
Stupid Native Americans.
I like how you made the stupid comment politically correct. Oh, stupid sat Native Americans.
I'm a Native. I hate that. I hate that we call them Native Americans. I'm a Native American. You're
I
a
mean, we
Native
literally are
American.
Native Americans. We were born in America and we grew up here.
Yes.
That's how I got my first 5 jobs.
You and Elizabeth Warren.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, your name's Taylor. We're not buying this. My name is Chief Getting Job.